Am I back? I think I'm back. Hello guys, I don't know what happened there. Everything just crashed. Um, my Streamlabs lately has not been doing great, so you're back. Yay! Okay, we can now go back to the game. Thank you to those that stuck around. I don't know what happened. I'm blaming the aliens. Yeah, I blame the aliens as well. God, imagine if I was on like a cliffhanger and something happened. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my Streamlabs lately, but yeah, there we go. Right. Okay, we're going on an adventure. Let's go a low rise. Another hour passes and you crest a small hillock, from the top of which you can see the path continuing downwards into a small settlement of huts. This must be Kentapani. Look at the village, look for a way round. Look at the village. From this distance, it's hard to make out much about the town, except that it must be desperately poor. Well, that's not very nice. Okay, hold on. Oh, there we go. Hopefully that doesn't break everything. Just turning the music down. Hello, game. Oh, what is happening today? I know. Why is everything breaking on me? Why don't you want to work now? I think the game's crashed now. God damn. I don't know where that would have saved. Oh no. No, we're good. Okay, thank God for that. Okay. There we go. Oh, okay, everyone, fingers crossed, it all goes fine now. I'm just not going to do anything that can possibly break it. Let's go. Nobody touch anything, it's all very fragile. I'm very fragile at the moment. Oh, I'm going to give myself a head pat. No, I can't. I might break things. Mooney, give me a head pat. Let's go to Kentapani. Yay, thank you. Of course, if you were scared of a town like Kentapani, then you could not hope to survive in Kakabad proper. You follow the path down into town. The round huts are made of hard-baked bright clay, and the roofs are thinly thatched. As you pass, eyes appear at dark doorways, tracking your every move. For a moment, it seems like this will be all you will see of the town's inhabitants. But then a villager appears from one of the dwellings and blocks your path. Look at him, threaten him, push him out of the way, cast a spell. Oh, Jackal, thank you for the head pat. I hope it comes up. Oh. Is it on cooldown? That's weird. Oh, okay. Sorry, Jackal. Let's look at him. He's 5 foot tall. They cannot go much taller out here in this poisonous air. He has thick-set arms and thighs and is half-clothed in tattered breeches. His eyes are wild and his long red hair and beard stand out from his face in a wiry tangle. Halt, stranger, he commands. What business have you in Kantapani? I want to buy equipment, push them aside, I need directions, I'm a hungry traveller and need to eat. Equipment? We could do with some equipment. I want to buy equipment. He grunts, but you can see that he is pleased. With a motion, he encourages you to follow, taking you through the village to a large hut. The storage house. Inside, you find that the building is the storage house. A quartermaster, somewhat plumper than your guide, is seated at a table. Stride over to him, wait to be introduced. Let's give out confidence in ourselves. You stride across the room and put out your hand for the fat man to shake. I'm here to trade, you declare. You are a merchant? I hear this village has excellent wares. The man looks startled, but gets quickly to his feet. Please sit, I'll show you what little I have. Sit down. He quickly hustles the villager out of the door as you sit. The man wags a finger. Wait there. He disappears for a moment into a side room. Wait, or such room. Such room. While the man is out of sight, you quickly rifle the nearby shelves but find nothing except for a small vial of potion. Take it or leave it? I think we should take it. You pick up the vial. It is quite full and stoppered by an old cork, but there is no label to indicate what it might be. Place it in the bag. You slip it into your bag. The merchant returns, carrying a large box. For you, he declares. What sorcery is this? In terms of the chronological order, or me stealing a potion? The merchant returns, carrying a large box. For you, he declares, moving his hands as he speaks. I see what kind of client you are. This collection, the very best, are most strange and interesting artifacts. Collected from other travellers who have come this way. He begins to lay the items out in front of you, treating each with great care. You have 20 gold pieces to spend, but is there anything worth your while to buy in this place? I made a financial mistake and paid for the Made in Abyss game today. Worth it. Ah! I wouldn't say that's too big of a financial mistake. Mooney's played that and he seemed to enjoy it. $40. That'll probably be about £50 to £60 for us, so I mean that's about average for a... No? Oh, about £30 for us. Mooney has informed me as currency converter. That's not too bad though. We got a musical pipe, a weapon, a leather bag, a jewel. So you're saying I'm rich in the UK? Yeah, by £10. Yeah, Mooney played it, he liked it. Well, we got a weapon. A leather bag? I feel like yeah, we've got a bag, so I don't know if we need a bag. Music, maybe and some magical items for spells would be good. Let's have a look at the pipe. You pick a bamboo pipe off the table, carved with a split reed and 6 finger holes. 3 gold pieces, the merchant says. I can't promise you that it has any magic, but it may well cheer you up at night. Play it. You place the pipe to your lips and blow a few clear, sweet notes. The merchant nods. It's a well-made little thing, don't you agree? We need a bag of kittens, or just a bag cat can sleep in. Oh, if there was a backpack that could carry me around everywhere, I would be so happy. Like, that's the dream, guys. Let's buy it. Three gold pieces. I think we can spare it. Let's have a look at the weapon. I didn't realise you could look at them. I thought you just had to, like, make your decision. What weapons do you have? The merchant looks at you carefully, seizing up what kind of customer you are. The kind to place a newly bought dagger against his neck, or the kind to tip him for the quality of the blade. But however fearsome your aspect, his love of gold overcomes all other concerns. Heading quickly to the other side of the shop, he returns with a weighty broadsword and an axe. These are both treasures, as well as deadly weapons of war, I'm sure you will agree. I do have a big bag for hiking. I think you can fit in it. I know I can fit in your average suitcase. I tried that before. Look at the broadsword. You lift the broadsword, it has a ready weight and the cutting edge is sharp. It's clearly been honed by master craftsmen. An exquisite blade, don't you think? The merchant grins. Only 8 gold pieces. Too much. Too much. You replace the broadsword on the tabletop. It is not the blade for me. You explain. It's adorable. Very good, the merchant says, patting his money pouch. You are a woman of good judgment, I see. What else? Well, let's have a look at this jewel. I think those weapons are going to be too much. You reach for the large jewel in the centre of the box, but he stays your hand. Please, he says. It is too valuable to allow you to handle. 10 gold pieces. Look closer at the jewel. You lower your eye to the table to peer more closely at the gem. It is clear, glassy, and its surface seems to be slightly sweating. Dragon's tears, the merchant says. You have never heard of such a thing before. I don't know if I trust this. Don't buy it. No, I will not take it. The merchant nods. Very wise, I'm sure, he replies, and he puts the jewel carefully away. Please, the merchant waves a hand. Keep looking. Take your time. I think we're good. We can leave the rest be. I have seen enough. The merchant nods his head. Please do visit us again. You get to your feet and take your leave of the merchant. Just outside the doorway in the sunshine, you pause to examine what you have acquired. Smell the potion. You open the stop of the potion and take a cautious sniff. Phew! The pungent odour of blimberry juice hits your nostrils. Blimberry is a strange fruit, ordinarily never eaten by humans or animals due to its terrible smell, but well known for its medicinal properties. It can be used in place of food or rest. It can be applied to treat injuries, and it can even be used in sorcery. There's enough in the bottle for a single dose. Yay! We did good by stealing that from the man. Move on out of the village. You head out of Cantapani and along the path into the Shamutanti Hills. Again, guys, bear with me with the names. Past Cantapani. Striding past the outlying huts, you send the villagers rushing indoors to hide. Then, at the edge of town, you pass a large boulder, and at once 2 rough-cut villagers spring out with swords drawn. Bandits. 2 against 1, the first declares. You're lost, calls the other, so hand over your things. Come on. You never should have come here. That's what they should say. Deal with these curs, is what I say. You draw yourself to your full height. You have mistaken me for someone else, you declare. You will suffer for that mistake. The bandits growl and advance on you, 1 on either hand. Fight! The first bandit closes on you, cackling and grinning. Time to put this creature in its place. I'm going to defend. His grip. So let's try and get this combat down. I think you can. If I do that, you can see his bar behind me. So this is ours, and this is his. As you can see, a lot weaker than us. You should have made things easier for yourself, the bandit goes, and launches forward with his sword. You make good a defense. You are safe. His grip tightens on his sword. If we do a sort of like mid-weight, let's do a thrust. Cat has a bigger rod. I do have a bigger rod. Ayo! There we go. So he lost 2 stamina. Oh my. Enough of this. You go for his throat with all your strength. His own attack is easily turned. So I think he's going to be quite low on stamina now, so I'm going to go in for big boy. Oh, he was clever and he defended. So now I'm going to defend, because he was going to do a big boy. I should really be reading these. You cut the imbecile no slack. You spin around, bringing your sword backhanded across his skull. He raises his sword at the last moment to deflect the blow. The bandit stops and cuffs blood onto the earth. The bandit narrows his eyes in readiness. You drop back, raising your sword to protect your body. He comes at you regardless. You toss his heavy blow aside, leaving him panting. The bandit's fingers clutch his sword more tightly. Have a taste of my rod. There we go. Enough of this. You aim a savage blow at his heart. The bandit gasps his last as you run him through. 2 stamina loss, decent duel. Continue. The second bandit takes one look at his dead colleague and turns and makes a run for it. Chase him or let him go? Let's chase him. Immediately give chase. He will not get away so easily after trying to rob you. After a few minutes of scrambling between rocks, you have him cornered. You draw your sword and grin maliciously. The second bandit cries out, but is ready to fight if he must. Let's try Big One and see what he does. Oh! He did a big boy as well, but I overpowered him. The death of his friend seems to send the second bandit flying into a rage. He starts to scream wildly as he hurtles forward. You raise your own sword for a brutal attack and knock him to the floor. The bandit can barely find his balance. Now let's use our energy. Come Muncher, hi! Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Good to have you here. Ignore the messages about Cat having a bigger rod. Didn't know I could pull that down. We are taking on some bandits. And he is now dead. You keep up the pressure. Grabbing a nearby branch, you swing it at his head, and as he reels, you lash out with your blade. Your strike is more than the bandit can take. He falls to the ground, quite dead. No stamina lost, flawless fighting. The fight is over. You clean your weapon and regain your breath. Search the bodies. You search for the bandits' pockets but find nothing, not even a single gold piece. Their clothing is ragged and rough. Worse than animals, you leave their bodies for the beast to pick clean and set off again. After about half an hour, the way becomes an uphill incline. Climb into the hills. Leaving Cantopone behind marks the true start of the wilderness. Beyond that tiny outpost, there are scattered homesteads and care, a thriving city port, but all are touched by cruelty, isolation and fear. The backlands and the long shadow cast by Mampang Fortress darken everything. And with the crown gone, and with the crown stolen, things can only grow worse. In the long years since Chalana, the reformer, founded the Alliance, the crown has been passed from kingdom to kingdom every 4 years, ensuring each one has its turn to lead. No more. Ruddlestone, Lendoland, Galatari and Bryce have all enjoyed its power. All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead man. But not Analand. When the crown came to Analand, it was stolen by birdmen from Zaman and carried off to Mampang. The crown, the Archmage, will be unstoppably powerful. There's no chance of sending an army against him. A military force would not survive the journey. So here you are, a lone adventurer walking the long path to Mampang alone. 5 minutes later, you reach a fork in the road. The sergeant, for all his eyesight, hadn't mentioned this. A fork in the road. The road splits around the base of a gigantic tree, but does not rejoin on the other side. The left path winds down into a valley, and the right rises up a slope towards the first thick forest of the hills. Look right. It's hard to see much further uphill. The forest is sudden and thick, and the path narrow. It may be hard going in that direction, but the hills will involve a lot of climbing eventually, and you may get a decent view of the next leg from the top of the ridge. Look left. You pause to consider the lower route. There is a river there, and the path follows the left bank. It is a safer route, secluded and protected, but the curve of the landscape would mean you are almost backtracking. You are about to make your choice when you hear a faint cry from somewhere close at hand. Look around. You look around and finally up into the branches of the tree. A pair of wizened, calloused feet are dangling down over your head, about to drop on you perhaps? Who's there? Who's there, you call? The voice cries again, a little more boldly this time. Up here! Help! Help! I can't get down! Did not expect me to do voices, but there you go. It is the voice of a feeble, wiry old man. Stepping back a little, you can see him clearly, as thin as sticks and dressed in dirt rags. There he is. Look at him. He almost blends in with the tree. Help him down. What are you hiding from? Leave him is worthless. What are you hiding from? How the old man got up the tree is a puzzle. He looks too frail to lift his own weight. What are you hiding from, you cry? Damned Elvins, he replies. I were travelling from Dumpus to the outpost settlement in Analand, but I were waylaid by Elvins, robbed me blind, all but took me eyes, and left me up the tree. I keep getting older, you see, we all do, but some worse than others. Climbed up, but now I'm too old to get down. I know that feeling. Help him out the tree. Swinging yourself onto the lowest Decker Kane voice. Stay a while and help me down. Swinging yourself onto the lowest branch of the tree, you reach up and grab the old man by the waist. He is light as a leaf, and within a moment you have lifted him to the ground. Thanks for that, he remarks, brushing himself down. I keep going into that almost cockney. Brushing himself down and almost knocking himself over in the process. I was just starting to get a bit, perturbed, but I'm on the safe now. What is going on with my voice? He seems remarkably confident, considering that the slightest stumble might break him into bits. You do you, cat. I weren't expecting to do voices, but it just sort of came out. What will you do now? What do I get in return? Leave him and move on. What will you do now? What will you do now, you ask? Keep going for Analand, he says. That's where I set off from. While back now. You wouldn't believe the story if I told you. Suffice to say, though, if I know my eyes from my eyes, you're heading out to Mampang, and you better be smarter than I was. And here, he presses a page into your hand. It is a page torn from a spellbook. This might be of use... God. This might be of some use to you. I found this. Just found it. Mind, and don't go asking how, but it's no good to me anymore. Take it, refuse it, look at the page. The kids is enjoying the storytelling. I have all of them beside me on the chair. Oh, that's so cute. I'm glad they're enjoying it. Look at the page. You look the page over suspiciously. It seems to be half of the spell, C8, that might have been used for pest repulsion, but it is unworkable in its current state. Oh, yeah, we'll keep it. You take the page and put it into your pack. The man falls quiet and squats down on the ground. With his jabbering done, you hear a buzzing sound from high up in the tree. A beehive. Climb up and investigate, or leave and move on. Climb up and investigate. Oh, water break. Hydrate break. Leaving the old man's sign with gratitude on the ground, you climb up through the branches of the tall tree. Continue. Oh, hold on, guys. I'm going to put my bottle lid back on because I know I'll just end up knocking it over. The beehive. The beehive hangs like a ripe fruit from the very highest branch. A huge number of bees dance in and out in a swarm. Climb higher. You climb up into the branches. The bees are quick to attack. You cannot brush them away as your hands are clinging onto the tree. So you are stung on your arms, head and neck. Looks nasty, the old man remarks. Do I keep climbing or do I drop out? I think we've got this far. We should keep climbing. But you aren't going to let some bees stop you. You climb higher, sustain a few more stings before you reach the hive and knock it to the ground. Dropping quickly down again, you cut it open and remove a lump of wax and enough honeycomb for one meal. You stash your finds in your pack. The light is fading. It's time to move on. Oh, the man cries suddenly. Do you want to hear me riddle? I heard it from the Elvins. Hear him out. You gesture with a hand for him to speak. See him though he sees you not, a stinging beast in a box not left. To guard a key it is his lot, to girl a witch of luck bereft. It is nonsense, clearly. You nod once, then turn your attention to the path ahead. I hate riddles. That made no sense to me. The low path. You head into the valley. It seems the safest route, secluded without providing an opportunity for ambush, and no matter how quickly darkness falls, the riverbank will guide your way. The man calls something after you about Elvins, but you ignore it. The path winds alongside a bubbling stream. You follow it, keeping to the west bank. The valley itself becomes narrower on either hand. a good spot for an ambush. You can only hope that nobody knows you are here. After an hour's walk, you begin to feel hungry. You will need to eat at least once today to keep up your strength. Stop and eat. Taking a seat on the grassy bank above the water, you eat the sugary honeycomb. You rest for half an hour or so and then continue your journey. I can't imagine what that's doing to our blood sugar levels. Just eating a honeycomb. In the valley. The valley continues and you walk for many hours until the sun begins to set behind the bank and the air grows cool. Now would be the time to find and pitch camp if you tend to sleep, before darkness descends completely, but the moon will rise soon enough and you could walk on through the night. Somewhere beyond this valley there are villages with real beds. Continue. Do we continue or do we make camp? I would say make camp. You know, we need to get our sleep. So, yeah, let's make camp. By the way, where we're going. So we're going to a city called Care. I think I'm saying it right. Which is like the big city before the sort of like desert area where all the magic stuff happens. We are from an outpost. After a little thought, you decide to stop. In the moonlight, the river will turn black and the way will be hard to find. Better to sleep and set off early tomorrow. You find a group of rocks that form a natural hollow beside the bank of the stream and settle yourself inside. As comfortable a dragon curl up on its gold. Before you decide to sleep, you check through your pack. You have 2 rations left. Eat something again or sleep. I think we'll be fine. We're only 2 stamina down, so... Okay, good. I thought I pressed eat again. I got very worried then. I might be able to, if I click off here, and then zoom out. So this is the map. So we started here. Oh no, can you guys see my cursor? Yeah, you can. So we started here in this settlement. I think this is like the main kingdom. And there's like a big wall beside it. We've just been through that village, and basically we want to get to here. So we've got quite a way to go. But there's lots of different ways that you can go. But we are now currently here. So there we go. I hope that has given some clarity on where we're going. You rest your head onto your pack and close your eyes. Eventually you drift off to sleep, soothed by the babbling of the stream. But a short while later you're awakened by a splashing noise. Stay still and listen. Reasoning that you're well hidden behind the rocks. We are going north. We are. I think most of this game is you're heading north. Which leads to like the outland areas. You keep your breathing quiet and listen. Creatures, 2 or 3 of them. They are splashing in the stream, perhaps washing, perhaps throwing stones or catching fish. Stay low. You stay silent, listening closely. After a while, they seem to tire of their game. The valley falls quiet and still once more. Try to sleep. You sigh and attempt to go back to sleep. A moment later, something heavy and hard hits you right in the face, then everything goes black. Oh, well, that's not good. Continue. Captured. Oh dear. That's not what we want. Been kidnapped already. Still halfway between sleeping and waking, you feel the presence of your spirit, the Vixen, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Analand, just as you have changed, but it is still running beside you. In the temple, they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, even save you from certain death, but spirits are not generous and decline to help often. You can ask for the spirit's aid using the pray button. Where am I? You are tied up on the floor of a hut, and you are not alone. Nearby you hear the scuffle of many feet. Look around. You flip open your eyes, taking care to lie still. You see your belongings lying a short distance away in the dirt. Around you patter tiny feet, and a few more feet hover a few inches in the air above the ground. Elvins, then. Sit up. You sit up trying to rub your head, but of course you can't. Your hands are tightly bound. Seeing you stir, a creature by the door jumps to its feet, then jumps above its feet and hovers in the air watching you. Wait to see what they do. Release me or taste my wrath. Wait to see what they do. The guard, noticing your weight, leans out the doorway and calls sharply. Soon a small crowd has gathered around you. These are the Elvins, with a doggo apparently. Elvins have doggos. There you go, that's something we've learned today. One of the group, some kind of leader, steps forward. Traveller, he declares, we are creatures of pleasure and enjoyment. It is such a great pleasure to have a visitor in our poor hamlet. So ask now, how will you entertain us here? I will show you magic, I will sing for you, I will kill you all. I will show you magic. The chief claps his hands with glee, and so do the others in the crowd. Excellent. Ask them to untie my hands first, because I can't do a spell without my hands. Very good, but I cannot weave a spell with my hands tied. The elven considered this for a moment and quickly decided. One approaches with a knife and holds it close to your face for a few seconds. Then he laughs, rolls you over roughly, and cuts the rope around your wrists. Now, declares the chief, entertain us. Perform a spell. I will show you a spell. The elven chief nods. Cast a spell. Let's see what we can do. G O B. Okay, that requires a goblin's tooth. K I D. That requires a bracelet of bone. D U D. Illusion of treasure. There we go. That would do. Cast. You cast a spell, focusing your mind on a large rock in one corner of the hut. Before their eyes, the elves see this rock turn into a mound of glittering treasure. They gasp with delight, smiling happily and congratulating you. Then one of them ventures over to touch the jewels, and as he does so, you release the spell. A great cheer goes up as the treasure pile disappears. An excellent performance, the chief declares. Thank you. You nod your head. We have kept you from the road. The chief waves for his tribespeople to clear a route to the door, and the little creatures cheer. You gather up your belongings, and they set you on the path out of the village. See, they weren't all bad. Just wanted to see some magic. At the bridge. Waving back to the elven as you walk, you reach the river once more, but now the path goes across it. But beyond you can see a long, wide track with trees lining the left-hand edge and a wide... I had to pick a game with a lot of talking today, didn't I? And a wide field of long grass on the right. In the far distance, a curl of smoke indicates a village. The evening is beginning to draw in. It would be good to reach town before the light is gone. Test the bridge, or cross. Let's test the bridge. I did warn you about the reading thing. You were convinced you'll be fine. I'm fine. I promise. Before crossing, you make sure to test the guy ropes of the bridge to ensure it is sound, but it seems safe enough. Satisfied, you make your way across the boards. In the middle of the bridge, a man stops you. Halt, he declares. This is my bridge, and to cross, you must pay a toll. How much? I will pay nothing. For what? For what? You look over the aged guy ropes, the warped boards. What is there to pay for? Do you think these bridges build themselves? Do you think it's easy living out here, an outcast from Christanti, trying to feed my children, when barely anyone takes these paths anyway? The man is nothing but then a beggar. The toll is just 1 gold piece.
Hydrate, you bastard! Hydrate!
That's a very good point, Jackal. Thank you. The toll is just 1 gold piece, he says. It's very reasonable. Pay the gold. I have no gold. Push him aside. I think we can give 1 gold piece to be able to go on our merry little way. Yeah, so let's give him a piece. Daylight robbery, you remark, but put 1 gold piece into his hand nonetheless. The man touches his forehead with the coin in thanks, and with that he strides away whistling. You head off down the bridge and back onto the path. None the wiser. You have a long way still to travel today. The path continues along the side of a line of trees. Suddenly, an acorn lands on your head and you hear a tittering from overhead. The Vitsing grant you strength. More elven in the trees, hurling acorns. You bastards. Look at you. Throwing things at me. Cast a spell, threaten them, walk on by. Can we cast a spell? Kinda neat, I can rewatch your stream on YouTube. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I set it up. Because streams disappear after a little while. I think it's like a week. So I wanted to make sure, especially like we're doing Skyrim and, you know, big story stuff, that we had a record of them. Oh, thank you, Mooney. Yeah, so it's a good way for people to catch up if they've missed anything, or just, you know, wanna rewatch stuff. So yeah, it's good that I've got a YouTube. I'm surprised it's actually getting a bit more traction. I thought it'd be like a dead channel. It's literally just a place for me to store the VODs, but you can have it as background noise at work. Oh yay! I can make your job a little bit more entertaining. So yeah, I'm glad it's actually getting some use. Because it was just going to be a dumping ground for the VODs, so that's good to know. What does this one do? We do F O G, summon darkness. You cast the spell and a thin fog rises from your body, but it is pulled easily away by the wind. You're pelted by more and more acorns, as well as some sticks and branches. You break into a run. Soon you're out of reach of the annoying creatures. It can be a bit boring sitting at the office sometimes. Yeah, I know how you feel, as an office worker. Unfortunately, I don't get a chance to watch any streams, so I can't catch up on any streamers that I like, but I get what you mean. I did not want to be pelted with more acorns, which is annoying, but there we go. I tried. Approach Christus Tanti. I hope I've said that right. The sun is now just past its zenith, and everywhere a dusty heat rises from the baked earth. You are worn out, almost to the point of physical collapse. You need food and rest, and no more trouble. Today has been too punishing already. Oh yeah, I've forgotten that we barely slept because of the elvins. You begin to think about where you will stay for the night. Another night sleeping out in the open would be best avoided. But then you see a small village set into the hill. Let's move on. You continue your slow trudge on the path. Go to the village. You walk into the village. Young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. Look at the people. Their own attire is rough by comparison to your gear. They wear their hair long but piled up on their heads. These people are ghastly poor. The village is like a ghost town, here on the knife edge of the backlands. They sound like they got man buns. Talking in an alehouse or resting in it. Let's rest. The village is small enough that you find an inn simply by walking around. The woman who runs the place stands in the doorway with her arms folded. Are you from the king? She demands. I am on a mission for the king. Taxes? She replies quickly. No, you're okay. I won't be taking your money. The woman narrows her eyes at you. This is a guest house, the best in Cristatanti. Only guests stay, and any guest of mine knows it costs me 3 gold pieces to host a traveller overnight and 2 to feed them. It's all between friends. Yeah, let's eat. I need to eat first. Food is just being served. The woman steps aside and you go inside and sit down. A few minutes later, her husband appears with a steaming pot of skunk bear stew. Oh, Mooney, I'm so sorry they're having bear stew. It's not a moon bear though, so you're okay. As he sets down the urn, he catches your eye and immediately turns aside. For a brief moment, you feel you recognize him from somewhere. Try to remember. You rack your brains as the man hurries out of the room. You have an image of him panting and wheezing and holding up a hand for you to hold. Someone from today, someone from your training, or someone from Cantopani? I think it was the bridge man. So let's go. Someone from today. Someone from today? Though he is not elven, clearly enough. Then you remember the man you passed on the bridge beyond the elven village. What is he doing here? If he runs a toll bridge, half a day's walk away. Perhaps you should ask him. They're eating him, and then they're going to eat me. Oh my god! No bears are eaten here. No bears were harmed. That's what they say. Go and talk to him. Leaving the stew untouched, you get to your feet and head out into the hall. The woman and her husband are talking in low voices in the hallway, but fall quiet the moment you appear. Have I seen you somewhere before, or you're the man from the bridge? Let's call about on this. You're the man from the bridge. I don't know what you're talking about, the man says. Why don't you eat your stew? But the sound of a voice confirms it is definitely the man you met earlier. You charged me a toll. You charged me a toll, you continue. I paid. The woman grabs her husband by the arm. What have you been playing at? He whimpers slightly. Nothing, nothing. It wasn't me. I'm quite certain. You can't be, the man replies. It can't have been me. It must have been my twin brother. He's always doing that kind of thing. And where is your brother now? The man shrugs. I've not seen him in months. I just shrugged in real life. And you guys can't see that, so I don't know why I did that. His wife has narrowed her eyes. I've never seen him, or never seen the two of you together, more like. I want my toll back. The man gawks. I don't know what you're talking about. How much did you steal from this traveller, that his wife demands, and where does it go? That's what I want to know. I've stolen nothing. I promise, the man insists, but it does no good. His wife hurls the bucket of kitchen slop she's holding at him and storms out the door. He hurries after her, waving at her to stop. You are left alone in the house. Go and finish my meal. At least I get to finish the meal. You return to the dining table and tuck into your stew, enjoying the quiet. It is thick as mud and has a rich, disgusting flavour. You wolf it down all the same, but feel no urge to pay the bill. With the inn quiet, you could either go upstairs and sleep or be on your way. Let's go and sleep. We need to rest. You head for the stairs to the guest room, where a figure appears in the doorway. Halt, he declares. Have you seen my brother? He's gone after his wife. Don't say the old lady has thrown him out again, the man shrugs. I'll have to sort that out. You wouldn't believe how often I have to tie up my little brother and do his dirty work. And with that, he wanders away out of the front door again. So he does have a twin brother that's causing trouble. Go upstairs. You make your way up to the room. There are 3 other guests already staying and asleep, so you settle quickly. Damn it, brother. The bed is not clean, but it is comfortable, and after the long day and all its narrow escapes, you are grateful beyond measure for the rest. Sleep. Your dreams are vivid. You feel yourself tied up, surrounded by snickering faces. Thin creatures with long fingers are picking at your pockets and the stitching of your clothing. Damn elvins. You feel magic boiling inside you, but it cannot be released. Meanwhile, the food in your bag is rotten, wet through from the sweat of your back, and in the distance a deep voice is booming with laughter. The long, cruel fingers of one hand are curled around the metal frame of a crown, and with the other he beckons you forward, as if into a trap. No, not into a trap. Beyond Cristatanti. I swear I've been calling that something different every time. You wake early and sit for a moment in no great hurry to leave the village. There's still no sign of the innkeeper or her errant husband. This is now the 3rd day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then unhurriedly collect your possessions and set off along the path. Cristanti is surrounded by several miles of fields, a filthy town set into a bowl of mud. As you follow the path between lines of sun-baked crops, you come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, while the left heads directly off into deep woodland. Let's go into the woods. We didn't go into the woods last time, so let's try the woods this time. Your journey is too important to slow down by talking to locals. You must pass unseen, and so you disappear into the jungle of tall trees. For a short while, the sun is feverish. Feverish. Yeah, that's how you say that. And then you are between the trees once more, and everything becomes cool and still. You walk for several hours uneventfully. This is land that was never settled or explored, and very few travel this way. In places, bushes and shrubs have grown over into the path. Move cautiously or hack my way through. Let's move cautiously. I don't want to break my sword. You pick your way carefully forward, moving slowly but silently between the trees. If there are any beasts nearby, you should be able to wring their necks without them hearing you approach. Oh, good grief. Then you come to a fork in the road, still deep in the forest. Continue. A fork in the forest. Someone has thought to make a sign, perhaps as a guide or perhaps as a warning. The way to the right is marked for Dumfus. A left turn points to Aliana. Neither way seems the better trod. You will have to choose. Continue. We could go to what I presume is Aliana's house, or to Dumfus. Let's try Aliana. Oh, Aliana. Don't know why I did that. The path winds between trees that get greener and more lush. You must be closer to the river here, although you cannot hear the water. After about half an hour's walk through dappled shade, you come across a well-built hut. Flowers decorate its walls and the door has been painted with ornate designs. The path ends here. Knock on the door, scout around it, turn back. Let's knock on the door. You approach the door and knock. There is no reply. Scout around it. You perform a swift circuit round the hut but find nothing unusual or concerning. It seems to be what it is, a hut, set by itself deep in the forest, but for someone to survive out here, on their own, surrounded by the beasts of the jungle, there must be someone quite powerful. Open the door. You push open the door and stride inside. Continue. Oh, I think the music has stopped. 1 second. Video pause. Continue watching. Yes. Enter the house. The hut is neatly laid out. You detect the touch of a fastidious woman. Chairs are set around a table as if for guests. A mattress lies in one corner, and a large kitchen area indicates that whoever lives here, they are fond of cooking. Call out. Hello? Is there anybody here? To your surprise, a voice answers quickly. Who's there? Who's that? Locate the speaker. Looking into a corner, hidden by a large cupboard, you see a cage in which a young woman is imprisoned. Good stranger, she pleads, let me out of this cage, I beg you. What happened to you? I'm sure you're there for a reason. What happened to you? You move over to the cage. What happened to you? Oh, good stranger, she wails. I've been locked up here for 2 days. It was Elvins that did it. Those mischievous, pranful Elvins. Please, you must help me. I just been told by Mooney I'm reading very fast. I apologise. It's my natural way of reading. I feel like it's meant to be a nice relaxing. It is. I apologise. I'm quite a quick reader. You move over to the cage. What happened to you? Oh, good stranger, she was. I've been locked up here for 2 days. It was Elvins that did a virgin on Rap God. Oh, I wish I could do that. Those mischievous, prankful Elvins. Please, you must help me. I have not eaten, and they left me here, where I can see all my cooking things, but cannot reach them. I'll help you. I'll help you. Going over to the cage, you try the door. It is locked, of course. Use magic? You should be grateful I waste my strength on you, you declare as you roll up your sleeves. Well, that was a bit harsh. Cast a spell. Oh, apparently background. Hold on. Let me... Oh, no, that's turned it off. Let me turn this down then. Okay. If that's too loud, oh, I've turned it up. There we go. I've got all this. I need more screens. Okay. So the spell for unlocking doors and locks was DO, I think. So D O E. You cast the spell over the lock and it begins to shiver. Like a small beetle, it hums and clicks. as the tumblers turn and work, then finally it snaps open and drops to the floor. The woman claps her hands in delight, and with the door open, she rushes out and throws her arms around you, before backing off a pace and trying to regain her composure. Stranger, she declares, I am in your debt. Aliana will reward you. Will you take an aid in combat or mastery of magic? Oh, combat or magic? What we thinking? I have been using magic a lot. Oh, Mooney says combat. Do better, bonks. That is very true. Okay, let's get combat. I like doing combat, so yeah, we'll do that. Combat. Very good. She lifts the hem of her dress and removes a bracelet from around her ankle. This is Ragnar Rista's armband of sword mastery, she declares. Wear it, and it will bring great skill to your sword arm, with my blessing. Accept it. With a nod, you accept the armband and place it on your right arm. The effect is immediate. You feel your muscles strengthening and growing powerful. The lady has been freed. It seems like there's nothing much more to keep you here and from your quest. Ask if I may eat. Would you share your food with me? Take my leave. Let's ask if she'll share some food. Would you share my food with me? Wait, did I just give up my food? Well, that's not what I wanted to do. She nods vigorously, and the two of you settle down to the table. It is a mockery of a family feast, as you carefully divide a quantity of your cheese and bread, trying hard not to lose any morsels into the cracks of the wood. She eats ravenously, as do you. Then finally you stand. I must feel my way, you tell her. I have many more miles to cover today. She nods. Of course, please, before you go. And she holds something out. It is a small bag of gold coins. Oh, thank you very much. Take it. You bow your head and accept the gift. There are 7 gold pieces inside. And one more thing, she says. Moving around the table, she leans over to you and pecks you on the cheek, whispering, I am Aliana the Witch, and I have killed a good many men with my sorcery, but I choose not to kill you today. Go in peace. Then she steps back, and her face is as soft and peaceful as it ever was. Did you imagine her words? Almost certainly not. Time, then, to leave. You step quickly outside. You retrace your steps to the last junction, where you turn to take the path to Dumfries. Yay, we didn't get murdered by the witch. Walk through the woods. You walk for several hours, following the twists and turns of the path through the trees. Then suddenly you stop. You have heard a noise up ahead. Something is moving around between the rocks at the edge of the path. Wait and look, draw my sword, or walk on. Let's wait and look. You hand back, watching the trees. There's definitely something moving around. Something large and long, with a tail that whips between the trees. But now that you've seen it, you're at a definite advantage. Cast a spell, or attempt to creep round. Let's try a spell. See if we can, daze it or something. Oh. So, let's try L-O-W. Control non-intelligent creatures. Oh, that might work. Cast. You cast the spell on the beast, holding it quite still. It snuffles and sniffs at the air, but cannot seem to think its way out of its difficulties. You walk smartly away. Continue. I feel like that was actually quite cool, but it probably would have killed me. The path winds a few more times around gigantic trees, thousands of years old, and then emerges onto a sudden plain, as if the forest had been scooped away by a gigantic hand. A river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by its banks stands a tiny village. Continue. Oh, why does this music keep stopping? Or is it just really quiet? Oh, there we go. It was just very low. Good time for a water break. I'm gonna be so hydrated after this stream. Enter the village. Today has been a short day with few true dangers. With a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start auspiciously, so you begin the gentle climb down into the village. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be Dumfus. The streets are thin and narrow, and the buildings have been set close together, as if trying to withstand a storm. There is a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems an unpleasant place. I'm very harsh about these towns. Explore the town, talk to the villagers, find it. Let's explore the town. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchants' huts. You browse for items worth buying with your 23 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. Examine the skull cap. You pick up the skull cap and turn it over. Stolen from a priest of Dadulay, the merchant declares with pride. A fine piece of work, 4 gold pieces. You can tell from feel of the cloth it has no inherent magic, but it might be useful in spells. Try it on. You place it on your head, but you feel nothing. You take it off again. Yeah, let's go for it. You pay him 4 gold pieces. You place the skull cap in your sack. We should buy some provisions. You examine the bag of food. There's about enough to last 3 days. 6 gold pieces, the merchant says with a smile. Good for a traveller, I am sure. Yeah, we'll pay for them. I'd rather be stocked up. You pay him 6 gold pieces and add the provisions to your pack. We don't need the sword. We're fine. You nod to the merchant. The merchant smiles. Is there anything else I can help you with? Is there any work to be had here? Is there somewhere I can go to sleep? Oh, what about work? We can get some gold back. Is there any work to be had here? I need to earn some money. The merchant sizes you up. You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he would pay you and feed you for it. Digging what? Digging what, you ask? The merchant shifts uncomfortably. Does it matter? You'll find out. He stares at you. So, he asks. He looks over his shoulder at the path. I'm going that way now myself. You coming? Continue. Yeah, why not? Let's find out what he's up to. He leads you to a house on the edge of the village and introduces you to the householder, a stout man who is probably incapable of lifting a spade, let alone digging with it. What is it you need doing? Cesspit, the man replies. Out back, needs digging. Oh joy. How much? Well, the man replies, it's pretty urgent. The old one's overflowing. How much money? You demand. 3 gold pieces, he replies. Yeah. I'll get started. Spades out back, he replies with a jerk of his thumb. You walk through the man's house and into the back garden. The smell is terrible. The job is not just to dig a new cesspit, but to dig over the old one. And it's going to be several hours' work that'll probably take the whole night. You collect the spade, stuck it in the ground by the hole. Cast a spell or start digging. Let's see what spells we have to us. If there's anything that can help. E. I. G. Oh, we can grow in size. Maybe that will help with digging. You cast the spell and wait for it to take effect. Then you feel the spade turn from a heavy tool to a mere toothpick in your hand. As you swell to 3 times your usual size, you have the digging work done in barely any time. Collect my pay. You go back into the house and collect your money. 3 gold pieces. I need this big spell. The grateful householder also provides you with some food, as well as space on the floor to rest for the remainder of the night. You settle down happily and are quickly asleep. Sleep. You dream strange dreams as you sleep. Your thoughts are dominated by the strange woman in the hut. In your mind, she's become younger than she truly was. Flowers seem to blossom from her hair as though she was grown from the earth itself. Overhead, you fancy you hear the flap of giant wings. The birdmen came for the crown. Perhaps before this journey is finished, they will come for you. It's not what we want. Leave Dumfus. You rise early, dismiss the attentions of the householder, and head out into the street. Within a few minutes of walking, you are out of Dumfus and back on the road. After another hour or so, the way branches, with one path heading up into the hills, and the other turning downhill and along one side of a barren, stony ridge. Is that a village you can make out on top of the hill? It seems a lonely place for it. Go downhill or go uphill? Let's go uphill. Through villages seems a good way to go. The gentle upward slope becomes a steep climb and you're forced to rest several times. So far you've been walking through the foothills, now the journey will become more serious. When finally you reach the summit and can look out over the low plateau you have crested. You see the path runs through a small settlement of crudely fashioned huts. They are some very crudely fashioned huts. Well, what's this going on here? There are villagers out on the street talking and working. It seems a happy, bustling place. Not a bustling plate. Bustling place. Approach, watch for a while longer. Watch for a while longer. You stay at your vantage point and watch a while longer to see if things change. After a while, you begin to notice something strange about the way the people in the village are moving. First, you notice one is limping, then another. Then you realise they are all shuffling as they move. Some use sticks. One is even crawling. I have a feeling we should leave. Best avoid this place. You've seen enough. Whatever the villager's situation, it cannot be a happy one. Taken to the low scrub, you walk a quarter circle around the village to the far ridge. Look back. Looking back, you can now see the village a little closer. There are red crosses marked on some of the doors. It is a sign of the plague. You shudder, thank your spirit, and move on. The path turns down a steep, scree slope and into some trees. Yay, guys, we avoided the plague. That's what we wanted to do. Join the lower path. It's difficult to see the way ahead through the tree line, but you trust to the course and eventually the path bursts out onto a narrow stone ledge, high above the valley floor. The ledge leads left and right. There is no way forwards. Look left. Looking left, you can see that the narrow ledge is formed by a splitting of the rock that leads all the way down to the misty valley floor. If there's a path up the other side, it is not clear from here. Look right. Looking right, you are taken aback, as out of the mist that fills the valley, an impossibly wide bridge looms into view, as if it had only now fallen into place. It is made of planks and thick ropes, and is suspended from this peak to the peak on the other side. Who could have built such a marvel, and how long ago? Good call. Yeah. Always avoid the plague. Plague ain't good. It ain't good. No, no, no. Look at the bridge. You take a moment more staring at the bridge. It forms a delicate curve across the valley, swaying very slightly in the wandering wind. But the more you look, the more it seems too perfect. Could such a bridge possibly exist? Or is it mere illusion to trick the incautious traveller? So we can either rest a moment and eat or move on. I think we rest and eat, because I don't know when we're going to get a chance to do that, so yeah. Perched on the edge of the stone outcrop, you eat some of your provisions and feel a little better for it. Then it's time to move on. Getting to your feet once more, you take a moment to find your balance before moving on. One slip here and you will fall a long way down. Hydrate break. Continue. So, into the valley or to the bridge. Now, they kept hinting about the fact that the bridge was possibly an illusion. But I'm also worried about getting stuck down in the valley. So, I'm going to go to the bridge and see what happens. The bridge is worth looking at least. If it is sound, you will be able to tell. If not, the other route will still be waiting. As the ledge winds and weaves its way around the cliff, you reach the peak where the bridge is deeply anchored by its enormous stone foot. Beside this is a small dishevelled hut. Look at the hut. A small little shack. It's barely large enough to house a goblin, but someone has decorated it in a weird fashion, with outlines of figures, tall and short and stocky, drawn in faded shades of wood, and some in red blood-coloured clouds. And from a few of these figures, actual bones protrude from the walls themselves, as if they formed part of the structure. You should have known immediately, of course. A bridge like this, out here, smells of sorcery and witchcraft. Hey, said the title. Knock at the hut door. funny, I did watch a documentary about the plague earlier. Oh my god, it's almost as if you knew. We were going to come across plague victims. You walk over to the hut and knock. There's no answer. Stranger still, however hard you beat your fist, your knocking seems to make no noise, as if the wood were a cup of water and you were beating your knuckles against the surface. Go across the bridge? Let's give it a try. No matter, the hut is old and dishevelled, probably empty. Setting your foot upon the bridge, you begin to make your way steadily across. Oh, I don't feel like something terrible is going to happen. But you have gone a few steps when you hear a voice calling from behind you. Halt, stranger! You turn to see an ugly, hunchback creature who has sidled out of the hut door. Aw, you look so sad. If you wish to pass, 2 answers must you give to Vankas. Who is Vankas? The creature blinks, perhaps surprised, then he taps himself on the chest and tries to straighten up just a little. Why? The creature nods and replies in riddling fashion. If over Vankas's bridge you go, you must be sure you are not foe. If friend you are and friend you be, then answer what I ask of thee. I'll give you your answers. I have very special eyes, my friend. Fun fact, I have a bruise on my eyeball. There you go. It's just an old thing. Oh, I'm so out of touch with the memes. But that what I said about my eyeball is true. I have a bruise on it. I fell over when I was a kid and whacked my face. Chipped a tooth and bruised my eye. I think I was about 2 years old when this happened, so I don't remember it. But it's never fully healed. I give you your answers, you call back. Well, damn. The creature chuckles and asks his first question. A sister I have, witch in captivity. She lives in the woods, so first tell to me. Do you know of her friend, of this cunning dame? And how is she known? Tell me, what is her name? You know of whom he speaks, the woman in the cage, but what was she called? Something starting with A. Oh god, the spelling. It was Aliana, wasn't it? Yeah. Aliana, the hunchback smiles. Your answer is correct and true. Now you must answer question 2. 3 villages free you now have passed. What was first, what was second, and what was last? It's just Chuck Dust. I know that meme. Okay, so wait, I might be able to look on the map. So we went to Cantapani, and then we went to Quistatanti, and then we went to Dumpfus. So Cantapani. Then I like these names. Quistatanti. Finally, Dumpfus. The hunchback nods once, deeply, and you breathe a deep sigh of relief. He gestures for you to proceed along the bridge, but calls out one last verse of advice. Beware the lair of the cave demon's maze. Stay to listen. You hover to listen to the rest of the verse. For traps as deadly as Medusa's gaze, greet those with the most dire and plight, who turn down paths not to the right. Thank you. You call out a thank you, and Vankas nods once more before returning to his hut. Quickly, fearing any more traps, you hurry across the rope bridge. You are rather grateful when your foot touches the grass on the other side. You follow the path over the crest of the hill and down into the next valley. It is now late afternoon. Head for the town. Some way down the hill, you stop for a rest and sit on a boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downwards, and at its foot, cradled between 3 peaks, is a village, and quite a large one at that. Behind you, the sun is falling rapidly into the hills. It will be night soon. Approach the village. The village looks like a good place to stop. You hop down from the boulder and make your way forward, when an overhanging branch touches your face and you hear a lively chirping. I'm such a boomer. No, don't worry. I'm sure you're fitting into the millennial age. It's just that I'm so out of touch. um, turn around. You turn quickly around. Hovering by your shoulder is a small creature, the size of a bird. It is childlike but very thin, with green skin, and it flits around you on transparent wings. It seems friendly enough, it even lands on your shoulder. Its tiny clawed toes pinching slightly. Talk to it. Greetings, little creature, and hello to you, the creature replies, chirping. My name is Jan. You got fish feet, Jan. What do you want me? You're out of touch, I'm out of time, but I'm out of my head when you're not around. That song just popped in my head. What are you? The creature does a backflip and gives you a low blow, a low bow. I'm a Minimite, pleased to meet you. It reaches out a tiny hand and shakes your earlobe. Something about that is just adorable. What can you tell me about the village? What can you tell me about the village? You point down the valley. Is it safe? That's Biratanti, and it's very safe. It's the largest village in the whole of Shamutanti Hills. Every traveller who comes this way spends at least one night there, so it's a little bit expensive, especially for Minimites, but pleasant enough. The creature starts hopping up and down. Come on, it grumbles impatiently. Let's get going, can't we? What do you want with me? See that village? The creature replies. Last time I tried to go through, they told me I wasn't welcome, so I wouldn't mind some protection. Where I'm going is dangerous. You warn the creature. You might be killed travelling with me. The creature shrugs. I've got small wings. Can't get far on my own. The creature flits to your other shoulder once more. You're not in any hurry, are you? Observes. Do you want to sleep out in the rough? Well, let's get going then. The creature shakes you by the ear in excitement, and you set off along the path once more. You descend into the bowl of the valley. The hills on either side are towering tall and throw the village into deep shadow. It would seem a very gloomy, threatening place, but from the streets come the distant sound of laughter and merriment. Enter the town. You continue along the path. The sounds of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky, here in the shade of the valley and after so long on the dire road. The people in this village seem to be enjoying themselves. See, the Minimite on your shoulder remarks, I told you it was a happy place. Jan, what's going on? Are they bewitched? Jan shakes his head. No, if there was magic, believe me, I'd know. This is the festival of the young. What's that? Well, take a look. Jan waves a little hand around the village. The idea is that once a year, the children are allowed the freedom of the village. It is a time of great fun and lots of pranks. It becomes quickly obvious what he means. You pass the first few buildings where you find a number of children sitting in the street and drinking ale from deep mugs. Bloody hell. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and is spanking her. You won't get away with that in this day and age. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside a hut with a sign that reads Glandragger's Tavern. It is all complete mayhem. I would rescue the old lady, but I don't want to get in the way of tradition and customs. So I'm gonna leave her. I'm sure she'll be fine. You consider helping the woman, but there's nothing you can do. It is their festival, after all. Enter the tavern. Behind the bar, a thick-set man is wiping mugs down with an old rag. Greetings, stranger, he calls. I'm Glandragger. Can I be helping you? Greetings. I've come a long way. I'm sure you have. Take a seat. You do so, and Jan leaps up and onto the counter. Glandragger seems amused rather than alarmed by the creature. I have something for you? How much is that? I have something for you, tell him. Oh yes, he looks at you unexpectedly. Give him the armband or give him nothing? I don't want to give him my armband. But I feel like I might. Maybe it's gonna do me a favour. He might do something bad, love. Yeah, I'm gonna give him nothing. You have nothing in your pack that'd be good for his friendship. What I mean is, you say I had something of yours, you tell him, but I lost it. Oh yes, what was that? A message. From who? You shrug. It doesn't matter now. That's the way of things, Glandraga says diplomatically. Neat music. Ah, yes, I did a YouTube search. But you can see he looks disappointed. I'm sorry, I don't want to give you my armband. How much is ale? 2 gold pieces, and it's the finest in town. Well, it's the only ale in town. I made sure of that. Buy a mug. There you go. I'll give you gold. That will help. You put 2 gold pieces down on the countertop, and Glandraga pulls you a mug of beer. It's warm, frothy, and deeply refreshing. Glandraga smiles. You look like you've been on the road a while. You have no idea, you reply. Glandraga nods. It's mine, get your own. I've got to hydrate so much, I've got water all down me. Hold on. Clean that up. Tell me about this village. Glandraga shrugs. Not much to say, what you see is what you get. This place keeps going because it's on the only route between Care and Cantapani. If one of these mountains falls or the river freezes over, then this place will be a desert in 2 weeks. Cat water goes into your mouth. I know. I got too excited. Tell me about yourself. Me? Why? He spreads his hands. I'm a normal enough fellow. What you see is what you get with me. That's what I always say. I'm headed for Care myself. Of course you are, he grins. Didn't I just tell you that? Oh, that's a bit suspicious. What can you tell me about it? Ah, Care. I loved a girl in Care once. It's the town for love, you know. You have to live every day like it's your like it's your last in Care, because the chances are high that it will be. Now there's a city of thieves if ever there was one. I'll survive. I kind of have to. Good for you, he replies with a nod. I suppose the worst that happened to me there was a broken heart in the end. Glandraga goes back to wiping down his bar. Then a thought occurs to him. You'll be passing through Torrepani, I suppose. The Finns in Torrepani are normally a merry lot, but they're pretty depressed at the moment. There's a real gloom about the place. What's the matter with them? Oh well, he thinks for a moment, then waves away whatever was on the tip of his tongue. I'm sure it's nothing to concern you. From the counter, Jan issues a loud burp. He's been sipping ale from puddles on the bar top, and is now quite drunk. Wake him. You poke the little creature, who clambers boozily up your finger, but then topples off and onto the floor. Leave him there if you like, Glandraga says. I'll pick him up and put him in a mug. But you don't quite manage it. At the last moment, Jan rouses himself and flies, wobblingly back onto your shoulder. I love you, he whispers into your ear. Aww. Go further into town. You head out of the tavern and turn a corner to find a group of girls standing by a signpost, pointing to the crystal waterfall. They are tripping up their elders as they pass and giggling. Ask them about the waterfall. You stop by the group and ask them about the waterfall, but they are too distracted by Jan, whom they delight in poking, tickling, and generally cooing over. After a few minutes of asking them about the waterfall, you give up and walk away. One of the girls calls. Come back, another shouts. The water is good for you. Jan sighs, already missing the attention, but comes back to rest of your shoulder. Move on. You leave the girls to their snickering. Let's go check out the waterfall. We don't need those girls. They were tripping up old people. You go back, past the girls, and head up a path that climbs through a crack in the mountainside. Soon the air is filled by thundering. It's quite a climb, but eventually you turn a corner through a narrow cleft in the rock and catch your first glimpse of the tall natural waterfall plunging down from the cliffs overhead. Large crystal stalactites hang down either side of the water. There is only one path to reach it, winding up the rock face, and it passes by a small hut where a ruffian is collecting money. Ask Jan to scout ahead? That might be worth doing. You tap Jan on the shoulder. Why don't you scout ahead? Find out if this waterfall is worth the money. Jan nods vigorously. Alright, but I'll be quick. Don't think you can get rid of me just like that. I can catch up. He flaps away up the path. Greet the ruffian. You'll make your way over the hut. Greetings, you begin. You collect a fee for the waters? I do, sneezes the ruffian. These waters cannot be so healing that he has not caught an awful flu from them. Wait, what? I do, sneezes the ruffian. These waters cannot be so healing that he has not caught an awful flu from them. 3 gold pieces. There is a buzzard at your shoulder, as Jan returns and resettles himself. It doesn't look like much to me, he whispers. I think you'll be wasting your gold if you pay. Haggle? 3 gold pieces, you shake your head. For a bath, that is too much. The waters are healing, the ruffian explains quickly. They're doing more than make you clean. Haggle? I'll give you 2. The ruffian considers you for a moment. He seems to be won over by your manner. Alright, 2 gold pieces, but don't tell anyone I did it. Pay. You hand over your coins. The ruffian pockets them quickly, scanning the path either side to make sure he hasn't been seen. Let's go for a dip. You head up to the waterfall, which cascades forcefully into a deep pool. You strip off your clothes and dive into the pool, while Jan flitters through the froth. That was a lot of F's. Flitters through the froth. The cool water is fresh and invigorating, and you feel yourself getting rapidly better. You feel a huge swell of confidence. Coming here was the best decision you have made. Come again, Cat. It was a lot of F's in one little sentence. Wait, this water cures disease? Something about that seems terribly important. People should be told about it. The villagers up on their lonely mountain ravaged by the plague. They should be brought here. They can be saved. But it is late already. The walk back to the plague village will lose you a day, maybe more. And with this place so close, they must know of it. Perhaps their symptoms are too serious to be healed. Words are hard sometimes. Send someone else. Send Jan. You must send someone else. Your mission is too important to risk. You know of one good-hearted creature at least. Jan, you begin. How would you like to be a hero? The creature cocks its head to one side. Not as much as you, I'm thinking. Explain what he should do. There was a village I passed through earlier today, up on the mountain top. Those villagers should be brought here, to this waterfall. I want you to do it. The creature narrows its eyes. You mean the plague village? Yes. You're trying to get rid of me. I'm used to that. I expect it, being what I am, but I'm not going anywhere. And the brutish little imp folds his tiny arms and squats down on the top of your head, out of sight. Let's go let's try the tavern keeper. Maybe he will. Of course, Glandrugger would be the perfect man for this. A hero himself once. You stride quickly back into town to find him. Maybe I should have gave him the armband. You stride through the town, which is wilder now than before, and into Glandrugger's tavern. He is behind the bar as before, but the place is still empty. You again, he says, back for a second. A beer! You hand over the coins and Glandrugger fills you a glass, but he's not convinced. Come on then, he says. What's on your mind? How would you like to be a hero? I need you to do something. How would you like to be a hero? I've been one, he replies. I've kept my neck, and that's enough for me. This wouldn't be dangerous. Of course it's dangerous, he replies. Otherwise you wouldn't be talking like this. He slaps the bar. Spit it out. It's about the village in the hills. He nods deeply and puts his towel on the bar. Ah, he says. I wonder if that might be it. Been to the waterfall, have you? Yes. You think the waterfall is magic? Everybody does. Are you saying it isn't? Glandrugger shakes his head. The water was a nice place to visit. It's very soothing for shaken nerves, but that's all. So it can't cure the plague. Glandrugger shakes his head. I don't think it can, he shrugs. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. We have to try. Glandragger shakes his head. If the water could heal the plague, don't you think the villagers would have visited it already? The waterfall isn't a secret. There aren't always easy answers, you know. You nod, downcast. Very well. The old man sighs. You're a good soul to have considered it, he tells you. But there's no use losing sleep over it. You head for the door. Ooh, do we rest or do we go ourselves and save the village? We will lose a day of travelling. I think we should go save the village because they might give us stuff in return. So I'm going to save the village. Leaving the tavern, you begin the long weary walk back to the village of the plague. You're not really doing this, are you? Jan hisses in your ear. You're crazy. You ignore the small creature's complaints. Walking overnight. Oh. After an hour, you're within sight of the long bridge through the clouds and the steep slope into the valley. Jan is hopping mad. Where are you going? I thought you were on a mission. This is important. Sure it is, Jan replies grumpily. So is sleep. You say nothing but keep walking. A few minutes later, Jan pipes up again. Shh! Can you hear that? Hear what? Behind us. Listen. You stop still, holding your breath for a moment. He's right. Something is following you. Call out into the dark. Who's there? You call out. There is a rustling and a figure emerges. To your great surprise, it's Glandragger. His expression looks drawn and sad. I saw you turn this way as you left my tavern, he says, and I thought, I know what that young fool is going to try and do, so I followed you. I kept meaning to turn back, but I didn't, and here I am. You're trying to stop me, or you're coming? There. Trying to stop me. He shakes his head. No, I'm going to go for you. You've got work to do. Me? I'm old. If one of us is going to get plague, it should be me. And if one of us is going to save those villagers, then that should be me too. I won't have many more chances to be a hero, so I'm here to tell you, and at this he draws his sword, to stand and turn back, and I'll go on for you. Thank you. Don't thank me, I feel ashamed enough already. And with that, he strides past you, away into the dark. Jan is poking you in the shoulder. What do you want? I was just thinking, Jan says, are you sure you can trust him? Does it matter? Jan rolls his eyes. So, as long as you feel like you've done some good, that's good enough, is it? And suddenly Jan is off your shoulder and flying a few feet away. He turns to you and folds his arms. I'm going with him to make sure he does what he said. He looks at you, expecting you to argue. Thank you, Jan. Jan nods, then sighs. It's the right thing to do. Then he turns, and with a buzzing sound, flits away into the dark. You are alone once more. The villagers should be in safe hands, but you cannot stay to receive their thanks. It is time to find somewhere to sleep. With luck, you will reach Care tomorrow. Care. It's one of the words. I mean, if they were just going to go anyway, like, what was the point in all the faff? You find the village inn, buried under a rocky overhang. The proprietor stands in the doorway, a formidable young girl armed with a baker's paddle. What do you want? She sweets at you. A meal, a bed, room and board. A bed. 5 gold pieces, she says. Plenty of travellers in Britain, and we only want the best. Go on then. You pay the girl 5 gold pieces, and she directs you up a winding set of stairs to a room in the rafters of the house. From here you have a perfect view over the madness in the streets outside. Children are running riot with blazing torches, waving them in the faces of the adults they pass. A few men have their legs and arms tied around fence posts. If this wasn't a festival, it would be a revolution. Go to sleep. But never mind their problems. Pushing a chest in the way of the door to stop anyone coming in, you stretch yourself out on the straw matting. The noise from the streets begins to subside as darkness spreads across the village. Sleep. As you sleep, a strange, hunched-over figure shambles through your thoughts, speaking in riddles and offering dread advice. His warning rings in your ears. Greet those with the most tiresome plight. The rest of the night passes silently. Continue. Beyond Biritanti. You rise early, you head downstairs and out of the inn. noting on the way that the girl who let you in is now sitting quietly in a chair while her parents clean and prepare a breakfast of baked bread. You head outside and follow the path to the far side of Britanti. The sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Torapani today, the last village in the Shamutanti Hills. God, so many names. After a short climb, the path breaks, heading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. Choose a path. With Torapani so close, it hardly matters which way you go. Surely, continue. Let's go right. You climb a rise. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge and are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills, where the trees are thin, the view west goes on forever, and sometimes you catch glimpses of Care on the northern horizon. I'm getting a bit sleepy. It's like when my mum used to read me a bedtime story. Well, I'm glad my voice is soothing. Stop and eat or keep going? We can keep going. You decide not to stop to eat, but push on. A line of trees approaches, the shadows between their trunks deep and threatening. And then you are under the canopy, and it takes your eyes a moment to adjust. You come to a dead stop. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between two trees and touches your neck. You sin me, whispers a voice. I know it. Answer or draw my sword, look into the darkness. Answer. I see nothing, you call back. You are quite safe. It is not I who is not safe, returns the voice. Ask who is there. Who's there? There is no reply, but the tall, dark figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and you had not seen him a moment before. Even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away, he wields a sharp scimitar in expert hands. Fight him or cast a spell? Fight him. You bring your sword up to bear. Oh, this guy has a big rod. Defend. Oh, he also defends. The assassin nods at you, raises his curved sword in salute, and readies his stance. You drop into a defensive crouch immediately. The assassin is perhaps the most fearsome opponent you have so far encountered. He covers himself as well. Defend! We're stuck in a defense stance. You hold firm and keep up your defense, and he hangs back and watches you without emotion. I'm going to defend one more time. He's tricking me, guys. He's playing me. You circle around him at arm's length, and he circles away. Defend. He's going to get me. I know he is. You pace around him carefully, and he waits and watches you in return. I'm going to do a jab. Do a jab. He's a ninja. He is a ninja. Time to attack. You sting with your blade, low and fast, saving your energy, but the impact clanks against his turned sword. He grins. The assassin spins his sword about to shift the sword across his body. Right, now I'm going to defend. Oh, he does a jab. He knows what he's doing. You drop yourself into a crouch. His light blows sails over your head, moving with the deadly speed of an attacking serpent. You are mostly unharmed. Do I do a bit bigger? Let's do a thrust. It was wasted. Acting quickly, you rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but the blow jumps back off the hilt of his blade. He grimaces with effort. He is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. Closing his eyes, the assassin murmurs a quick prayer as he sets his stance. Oh, here we go. Defend! You whip up your defences as he powers forward, but it only tires him out. You are mostly unharmed. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, the assassin declares, in a voice as cold as polished marble. You will not hold me from it. We'll do a thrust. He lost 3 stamina. Leaping into action, you swing a masterful swipe, outclassing his own sword swing. Blood drips from the assassin's tunic. He curses under his breath. Fuzoda! Sideswipe. Okay, he defends. That's fine. The trees watch as the battle unfolds. Relentlessly, you cut and thrust, keeping him pinned. You swing your sword fast in towards his chest, but the impact clangs against his weapon. He smiles. You will die out here, the assassin says, his tone like ice. Defend! You ready yourself to block as he tries a deep slice, but you roll out of the way, mostly unhurt. The assassin laughs appreciatively. Cut! Oh, god damn it. Feinting left, you slash violently across his chest, but the blow jumps back off his raised weapon. He grins. The assassin's breath is coming in short gasps. He closes his eyes for a moment to steady himself. I can guarantee you a simple death, the assassin tells you. His eyes are merciless. Defend! You duck down into a low stance as he attempts a heavy cut, but you duck, mostly unharmed. He nods to you wisely. Breathing deeply, the assassin whispers a mantra as he readies his blade. Let's try it. Oh! Just enough. Time to attack. You dive forward with a deep, heavy blow. He is off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. I am not so proud as to not admit when I am beaten. He groans. You may finish me if you so choose, but if you do me an honour and use my own blade. 4 stamina lost, rough going. I mean, it's not terrible. It could have been better. Get good, mate. Continue. The assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor, gasping. Finish him and search his body, or spare him? I'm going to spare him. It's always good to have someone indebted to you. And he seems to honour his code, so I'm going to spare him. Then get up, you tell him, holding your sword back, but not putting it away yet. He nods and sheaths his own blade. You are a worthy victor. I am glad to meet you. Now you have saved me. You owe me, in part. My name is Flanker, and I am an assassin and a thief. See, I told you guys, he respects the rules. Why did you attack me? It is a simple matter. I pick on wayfarers for practice in hiding and in killing. I assumed you would be no match, but I see I was wrong. He bows his head once, perhaps in respect, perhaps from the pain of his injuries. You are travelling to care, he asks. So he's me. If you want to be Flanker, a ninja assassin that follows the rules. Why do you ask? That is the way I'm going. Well, perhaps I will not see you again once we part now. But if I do, remember me. I will not forget the debt I owe you. I will remember you there. He bows his head again. This time it is definitely from pain. Go, he hisses. You cannot aid me. Back to the shadows. Help him. No, you reply. I've caused your wounds. I will help you. He grins with gritted teeth. Are you a doctor? I do not think you are. Finish him off, bind his wounds, offer him... Oh, let's give him the juice. Offer him the blimberry juice. You remove the blimberry juice from your pack and unstopper it. Tip him back Flanker's head. You pour the thick, foul-smelling liquid down his throat. He almost gags, but you can see he is looking a little better almost immediately. You are too kind to a man who is about to kill you, he murmurs. Let that be your lesson, you reply, as you gather up your things and head out of the forest, leaving him behind. You have sense that you have made a powerful friend. Yay! Friendship wins! Continue. Leave the trees. You continue along the path and around the side of a hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope, with an old woman sitting on the front step. A river seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get closer, you realize the water flows underneath her house. And the house itself is set on splayed struts like an insect straddling the watercourse. A few paces from the front of the house, the water plunges over the edge of a sheer cliff and disappears. Friendship in shadows is always good to have, definitely. Greet the woman. Approach the woman. Have some water. Oh! Don't drink too much water. That makes you cough. Not that fast. It went down the wrong hole. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Uh, you approach the old woman. She smiles. How do you consistently drink vodka? I don't know. I don't know. I've been lurking for a hot minute. Lol, I'm back now, kinda. Oh, you you came back whilst I died from water. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. I hope everyone's enjoying the stream. You approach the old woman. She smiles a toothless smile and gets up from the step. Come in, please, she beckons. I get so lonely living out here on my own away from the villagers. Go inside. Thank you. You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. I'll bring us some tea, she says. She sounds almost nervous. Hurry into her kitchen. She returns with 2 large cups. It's a wench. Look at the booba on that. Oh, that's a funny shaped teapot. Make conversation or drink the tea? Drink the tea. You make to sip your tea when the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches your lips. Oh, she says suddenly, I've forgotten the pot. Sorry, hiccup. She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it. Switch cups with her, make her drink my tea. I don't think she would. I she could have poisoned them, but also I'm not so sure. I feel like if I swap them, that's what she's expecting me to do. So I'm going to drink my tea. You lift your mug, blow away the steam, and take a sip as the old lady returns. The old lady lifts her own mug and her own mug and takes a deep gulp. Your own tea is gently refreshing. Then she splutters and coughs and grips her side. What did I tell you? She thought I was gonna do the switcheroo, but I didn't. So she ends up poisoned. Help her or wait? Wait. You sit back and watch to see what will happen. She's trying to smile, but the pain is clearly quite severe. Stumbling and almost falling, she staggers to her kitchen and gulps down another drink. When she returns, she seems much better again. I'm not as young as I was, she explains. All the same, she pushes her tea to one side. But tell me about you. You're a traveller? Yes. Now suffer! Don't know why I said that like that. I got too into it. She tried to poison me first. That's my defence. Yes, that's right. I'm going to care. She claps her hands. How wonderful! Such a delightful city. Indeed, you answer. Tell me, on your journey, you didn't happen to come across an old man, did you? I've met a lot of people. Of course, she answers, but this one was special, very old, and carrying a page from a spellbook. I don't trust her, so I'm going to lie. Shake your head. No, I met no one like that. Really? That's a pity. She seems to think for a moment, then adds, do you have anything of a magical nature? Say no. And leave. No, too risky to carry, you understand. I suppose so, she replies through gritted teeth. You get to your feet. Thank her for the tea. She waves you away without interest. Go on, go away. You step back onto the path. A harmless old lady, or so she seemed. Outside the village. Don't trust old ladies. That's the moral of that. It is now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the next hill, and below you is the village of Tarapani, slung from one side of the valley to the next like a flood barrier. Observe it. Oh. Okay, that's what observing does. Go into town. Oh, Tarapani is the village of the Sfin, an aggressive-looking race of Manorcs. You might expect their village to be rowdy, maybe more so than Brittany during the festival, but it seems strangely quiet. Still, there is no way around it. You will have to go free. Continue. Into Tarapani. Don't trust anyone, no. Not in this world. You enter the village. There is a definite air of depression hanging over the place. The Sphins are going about their business slowly and miserably and pay you no heed. You sit yourself down on a tree stump in the very centre of the village to consider your options. Find an interest, make contact with the villagers first. You spy a group of Sphinx sitting outside a low hut, and you walk over and sit yourself down. The music has stopped. Yes, I'm still watching. Music has been stopped for a while. Oh no. You spy a group of Sphinx sitting outside a low hut, and you walk over and sit yourself down. They are discussing a friend apparently killed in the night by an assassin's curved blade. I met this assassin. Is that why you're all afraid? I met this assassin. You remark, boldly interrupting, out in the forest. You met him. You're still alive. One Sven replies quickly. I spared him. The Sven pushes you angrily. Why you spare murderer? You murderer. No. That's why I spared him. Your logic is too much for the Sven. He spits a gob of green goop on the ground and breaks wind. Nice. Another Sven bangs his head down on the table. But with Esh dead, who saved Tia? Who is Tia? Our flower, the Sven who answers, wipes a tear from the corner of his eye, scratching himself painfully with an uncut fingernail. Tia is Chief's daughter, the other Sven says. Esh was to save her. Now Esh not alive, so Tia soon not alive. What happened to her? Goblins, they sacrifice. He's unsure of the words, so minds a gesture like a stabbing downwards knife blade. Yes, sacrifice to a great cave demon. Trouble is, another says, our village die if chief line end. Tia is end, so if end ends, we end. All very sad, they all agree. Who you? One asks suddenly, as if only just thinking of it, he prods you in the chest. Traveller. Traveller, a slight gleam enters the biggest one's eyes. Great traveller? I do my best. Best is good. Mecca, Tifa. He signals to the others who are quickly on their feet, big hefty arms swinging for you. We take to Chief. Before you can resist, they have you and are hauling your body onto their shoulders. Oh, thank you, Mooney. Stretch. Okay. Wait to see what happens. You hold your tongue and wait to see where they are taking you. You pass through the village. Several Sphinx watch from doorways and windows, their faces silent and sombre. A few murmur blessings or maybe curses as you pass. Then you reach a low hut on the edge of the village. You are set down carefully. Continue. Captured. Again! The door is slammed and locked. A moment later, it reopens and your possessions are thrown inside. Eat something. Pulling your knapsack, you pull out a ration of your food and eat it. Nothing else happens. Try to sleep. Figuring they will probably now wait until daylight, you put your head down to sleep. Your dreams are filled with grasping hands and long dark nails scratching at your flesh.
Hello there.
Winter Nick, hello! Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing a little bit of an audiobook game, it would seem. I'm doing good so far. Oh, that's good to hear. I hope you enjoy the stream. Figuring they will probably now wait until daylight, you put your head down to sleep. Your dreams are filled with grasping hands and long dark nails scratching at your flesh, and however much you toss and turn on the floor, you cannot quite get them out of your mind. Daybreak. You are still alone. An hour passes before you hear any noise outside, and then a door to the hut opens and 5 Sphinx come in. Are we there yet? Nearly. I think. An hour passes before you hear any noise outside, and then the door to the hut opens and 5 Sphinx come in. They drag you roughly out and across the street to another hut, where an old man with grey hair sits. He's wearing outlandish, colourful robes. My name, Proceus, Chief. He slaps his chest twice. Old man say, yay, yay! He slaps his chest twice. I apologize. Then he bows, brushing the dust on the floor with his sleeves. Apology accepted. The chief nods. He waves to a menial who brings in bread and milk. Eat it. Gratefully, you bolt down the meal. It does not seem to be poisoned, and it nourishes you. The bowl is removed, and the chief squats down in a pool of cloth. That yay was so loud. I'm sorry. I have need of you and your strength. I will help if I can. The chief bows. I am grateful. My daughter, my child, she is taken, offered to a terrible demon below. Goblins? The chief spits at the word goblins. He shakes his head as tears well up in his eyes. We never friends, but we never enemies like this. I not understand their hate, why they care about demons in caves. I will save her. The chief wipes away a tear with a clawed finger. He gestures to the other Finns, who still taking no chances, grab you by your arms and haul you to your feet.
I'm in danger!
Yes, that is very much what is going on here. A crack in the ground. You are led along a short pathway through the forest. Just chilling with the official cat audiobook. Doing great, yay! You are led along a short pathway through the forest to a crack in the ground. One Finn has brought a rope and another a basket. They are preparing to lower you down into the pit of the earth itself. Take the adventure. We could be a hero. I think. You wait until they are ready, then step into the basket. The chief nods to you with respect. Watch the darkness, he declares, as they start to lower you down. You hit the floor with a thud and peer into the darkness. Your eyes can make out nothing, but a slight breeze suggests endless space in all directions. You are blind, helpless, trapped. Something clatters to your feet from above. One of the Finns shouts something down to you. Feel around on the ground. You crouch down and feel around your feet until your hand closes on the base of something. You pick it up. It is a dry wood torch. Something else falls from above and strikes you on the head. Tinderbots, calls the voice. Feel around for the tinderbots. Rubbing the bruise on your head, you reach down and find the tinderbots. Light the torch. You strike a light and the torch blazes into flame. Below. You can see now you're in a large cavern, wide and deep. At the far end, passageways disappear to the left and right. For an uneven rockfall at the far end of the cavern, you hear a murmur. Listen by the rocks. You clamber over the rocks at the edge of the cavern to investigate the sound. It is a whimpering coming from the other side of the pile of stones. The Sphinx girl, perhaps? She came in this way, but then the cave-in blocked off her path. You will have to find another way to reach her. Now, if I come out of here, go items. Oh no, I was wondering if I had like a notebook of things that I have been told. Because that guy said always go right. Sad music? Oh, is the music sad? Okay, I'm going to change it to cinematic. Maybe that will be better. Yeah, the guy said to go right. I think. Who was dying? Me, probably. Go right. It was peaceful. I can only slightly hear it, so yeah, if it's ever too depressing or too sad, just let me know. Or if it's ever too upbeat. You turn right, creeping slowly forward. The passageway slopes down a short way, then ends in a T-junction. Two stones are stacked on top of one another against the wall here. Examine the stones. There's nothing special about the two stones, except that they happen to be on top of one another. Go right. You take the right-hand tunnel. The tunnel twists and bends sharply, as if carved by a river now long since dried away. You lose all sense of which way is which, except to keep going forward where the tunnel splits. There is a stacked pair of stones here as well. Metal is peaceful, sometimes, kinda. I get what you mean. I'm into my metal music as well, and yeah, there was certainly some that are just like, yeah, that's actually pretty peaceful. Go right. You move through the opening in the right wall. The going is suddenly more difficult, and you realise that the tunnel is climbing at quite a sharp gradient. Little stones rattle and roll away downwards into the dark. At the highest point, the passage you are following finishes at another fork. As you enter, 2 stones roll away down the slope. I'm going to stick with my go right theory. I agree. Yeah! You go right. The cave walls crushing close, as though the rock is squeezing you to death. Your shoulders rub against the walls. When you feel certain you can go no further, the path you are creeping through forks again. Another pair of stones are stacked in one corner. I feel like I'm going the right way. Yay, Mooney. Go right. You turn right. You follow the passageway when you hear an echo of whimpering coming up the corridor. Your torchlight falls across a frail shape. Hiding in the shadows is the young Sphinx girl, stacking stones into hundreds of little towers. Look for traps. You run the torchlight around the walls of the cavern, no switches or triggers that you can see. The girl watches you with silent fear, and then the torchlight falls on a deep scratch in the rock, a claw mark. Suddenly, there is a loud roaring from the mouth of this short cavern. The walls begin to shake and crumble. The Sphinx stones, towers topple and scatter. To one side, a gap in the rubble begins to open, letting through a mean shaft of light. But before you can head for it, the roaring sound is joined by a scream.
Shall not pass!
Oh god, that got me a little bit then. Joined by a scream from the Sphingo. You turn slowly and peer into the gloom back along the tunnel. Is there something moving? Something coming closer? Perhaps the roaring is the wind rushing through the tunnels. It generally did make me jump a little. Something is coming. You hear the scrambling sound of claws on rock, and the exit from the tunnel. And I did not even mean to. And the exit from the tunnel is blocked by a dark and looming shape, a manticore, huge, terrible. It stands between you and the light, and howls in bloody rage. There it is. There's a manticore. Look at the creature, fight the creature, use magic. Let's use magic. You ready a spell. Cast a spell. I wonder if I can, can I keep it? Maybe if I can tame it, we can keep it. I just watched the extended version of Fellowship of the Ring yesterday. The 3.5 hour one. Wow, well done. I want to do that, but I just do not have time to give. We can summon darkness. We can... oh no, we can't create wind. We don't have a gale horn. D-U-M. Cause clumsiness? That might work. What was this one? D-O... Cause slowness. Yes, I've seen the extended edition of all the films. They get significantly better when those scenes are added in. Yeah, that's why we got them, the extended versions, to keep, because it just feels like there's going to be so much better stuff in it. But I just do not have the time to give to it, which is really sad. Let's try the cause slowness. You cast the spell quickly. The creature makes half a turn, preparing to swing its stinging tail at you. Then it pauses and shakes its head, and the old man's face beneath its mane crumples into a frown. It's as though something has struck it square in the forehead. You have slowed it down. If you draw your sword now, you will have an advantage. Or you have gained yourself more time for further sorcery. Christmas is coming up. Yeah! Oh, I mean, yeah, I might have time then. We will have to see. Draw my sword. You draw your sword and close on the slow and fumbling beast, eyes focused tightly on the terrible sting. Let's defend. manticore moves forward slowly. Don't remind me of Christmas. Oh, don't worry, Jackal. I'll be streaming on Christmas. So you can come join for that if you have nothing else to do. The manticore moves forward slowly. You breathe a sigh of relief to see your spell having some effect on the creature. You drop back, raising your guard, hoping the beast will wear itself out. At the last moment, it pounces, all claws off the ground, and bare to plunge into your flesh. In the air, it is no longer slow. You brace yourself as it comes down and leap aside at the last moment. Claws rake in your skin. For a moment, it is close enough to smell its warm, fetid breath. Just call me the Grinch. Oh, okay. Let's do big boy attack. Okay, it lost 3 stamina. The creature snarls and snaps its jaws. You must finish this monster before it finishes you. With the rock wall at your back, you have nowhere to hide, but a perfect platform to spring forward. You race at the manticore just as it pounds its tail down like a hammer stroke. As it rears, you push your sword up into its exposed belly. You have opened a deep wound in its side. This thing girl cheers. Just imagine her in the corner going, "Hey!" The manticore shifts away and opens its wide jaws, which look so human but contain an impossible number of teeth, each one dripping with a mixture of saliva and blood. Let's try this. Let's do a cut. Okay, it's lost 2 stamina. Standing firm, you swing a mighty stroke against the monster, easily catching the manticore a light blow. It curses you in an almost human tongue. Defend. We need to raise our stuff back up. You can almost smell the creature groan in rage and drop quickly away. The manticore makes a nasty swipe with its fearsome claws, but you duck and escape real injury. You give silent thanks for your concentration. The beast growls at you. The walls shiver with its fury. The Sphinx girl edges nearer as if thinking of scratching the creature with her claws. It's scared. She whispers to you. You might not believe me, but you've scared it. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. Do you know, I've never seen the Grinch movie, which I know is sacrilege, but I know a little bit of it. I've never seen the original, and I've also never seen the animated one. So maybe this is the Christmas that I do. We will see. Cut. The Jim Carrey one is astounding. Oh yeah, I know it's like a classic, and it should be one of those movies everyone has watched. I haven't actually watched that many Christmas movies. Like, it wasn't really a thing in my household growing up. Probably the only one we watched a lot of was Muppets Christmas Carol, which is why it's my brother's favourite. But like Home Alone and Grinch and all that sort of thing, we never really watched. Defend. Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas as well. That's a good one. Do a cut. Okay, he's down to 9. Sideswipe. He's down to 7. Oh, I should be reading these. You sense the creature getting angry and move quickly into a crouch. The manticore whips out with its terrible sting, but you leap aside to safety. You swing your arm and refresh your stance. The manticore chomps and grinds its teeth, its expression an ugly frown. The manticore laughs at you with a human expression of twisted joy. You risk an attack. Charging forward, you rush into the manticore, easily catching it as a passenger. Yay! Thank you for the head pat, Jackal. You get me through this fight. The monster rears up onto its back legs and opens its wings to fill the room. Back against the rock, you deliver a ferocious stab at the foul creature, deftly landing a quick jab past the manticore's tail. The creature crashes against one wall. Rock dust pours onto its back. As it tries to shake itself, it stumbles. You can hardly dare to hope. The foul beast is weakening. The creature stretches its wide jaws and roars. Defend! Warily, you move into a defensive crouch. The manticore stays low and tries to ram you. You adjust your grip and shift your weight. Defend! You remain hidden. The creature snaps with its knife-like teeth, but you knock it back with your sword hilt. You swing your arm and refresh your stance. Big boy! Lost 3 stamina. You spy an advantage, the kind that can change the course of a battle. Racing across the stone, you charge headlong towards the manticore. At the same moment as it comes for you with its terrible sting, you cut into it like a butcher. Blood is now coursing freely through its thick fur. The manticore roars. The ground itself seems to shake with its anger. Cut! Oh, 2 more to go. Standing firm, you swing a fearsome stroke against the monster, easily catching the manticore a light blow. The manticore screams and howls in a voice that is almost human. It is dying, slowly, furiously, but nonetheless, it weakens. The manticore gnashes its jaws, readying itself for the taste of your bones. Go for its throat, the Sphinx girl cries out. Or do we do a little one or do we defend? I'm going to defend. Oh, actually could have probably killed it there. Warily, you move into a defensive crouch. The manticore rushes you. At the last moment, you jump aside. You adjust your grip and shift your weight. It paces back, coiling its sting. Cut! Oh, goddamn. You got me. You got me, guys. Charging slow but still deadly, the manticore leaps, and it is on you. Teeth and slashing claws and lashing tail. Your own attack is forgotten as you try to regain your balance. The manticore rears back and beats its wings hard. Sideswipe. Yay! We got it! You must kill this creature. Dropping your weight, you chop a hefty swing at the terrifying beast. Your sword blade seems almost to be possessed. It finds its way past the manticore's sweeping claws, through its thick hide and down into its ancient cruel heart. For a moment it howls loud enough to make the walls shake, and then everything falls very quiet. 8 stamina lost, decent dueling. Yay, we did it, guys! Continue! The only noise in the chamber is the hammering of your heart and the quiet breathing of the Sphinx girl. Thank you, the Sphinx girl murmurs, then tugging at your arm. This way. She leads you towards the light, through a gap in the rocks, to the pool of sunlight in the first cavern. Continue. Escape! You wave the torch, hoping to attract attention. Tell the girl to call up. Girl, call to your father. The Sphinx child nods mutely, then bawls at the top of her lungs. Proteus, I'm here! Then something drops down, a rope, with a basket on the end. Get in together, the chief calls from above. We'll pull you both up. Send the girl up first. You lift the girl into the basket and call up. Pull away! The Sphinx give a great cry and begin to pull, and the basket starts to slowly rise, spinning as it goes. The girl waves to you as she disappears up into the sunlight. Then she is gone. Wait. If I get betrayed again, I'm not going to be happy. This game makes me want to play Dragon's Dogma. Ghost! I've never played Dragon's Dogma. Don't really know much about it, to be honest. Jackal, have you seen a ghost, or are you just exclaiming that there's a ghost? It's fantastic. Oh, I'll have to look into that. Hands down. I will look into that one. A minute passes, nothing. Call up? Throw down the rope. Nothing. The tunnel echoes very slightly. A noise from the depths. Perhaps the manticore was not alone. Wait a little longer. You just yourself on your phone cover. Oh, okay. I need some sun. It's winter though. There is no sun. You have to wait till summer. You wait a little longer, settling down on your pack. You can imagine the celebration going on above ground. The tears and grateful reunion. No surprise if they lose track of you, down here in the dark. And then sure enough, the basket and the rope tumble down. You clamber quickly in and they haul you up. Above ground, the chief himself helps you out onto the grass. His daughter is with him, clutching his hand. My daughter tells me you fight bravely, he says. For that, I am grateful. I invite you with us back to Torapani. Will you come? Continue. Back to Torapani. Little generosity cannot hurt you. You nod. I will come. As you enter the village, it erupts into celebration. Ah, these are the man-orcs. The big old key. You are given a place to stay and recuperate from your long journey. A visit to the healing priest treats your wounds, and when you emerge, is to find the village before so sombre and silent, now in full life. Flowers are tied to every rooftop, and bands of Finns are playing music on long, strangely shaped lyres. You are whisked away into the dance by Perseus' daughter, before the chief can welcome you to the feast. The night is glorious. That night you sleep heavily and rise the next morning to continue your journey. The chief meets you before you go. "My good friend," he declares, "you have saved us." He presses 2 gifts into your hands. A pouch of 10 gold pieces, a fortune for a place like this, and a key. "This will open the South City Gate of Care," he tells you. I hope it is of use. Time to go. You take your leave. The path winds away from Tarapani, and soon you are on a downward slope, away from the Shamutanti hills, through stepped rice fields. Yeah, okay. As you walk, you feel for the first time the loneliness of the path ahead. Though Care is a busy city, it is cruel, and beyond Care there is nothing but the vicious wasteland. You will have no one to trust in the days ahead. Walk on. For a brief moment, up on the hills above the path, you fancy you see a figure stealing its way along by some high and secret route, a figure all in black. But when you shade your eyes against the sun, whatever was there has disappeared. In the distance rises the wall of a great city, the first true stonework you have seen since you left home. Continue. Take care. And that's it, guys. We've done book 1. Your journey through the Shamantu Hills is completed. Along the way, you have gained the friendship of Flanker the Assassin and have been given the key to the Gates of Care. You've collected a few magical artifacts, a large lump of beeswax, a cloth skull cap, oh thank you Jackal, and a bamboo pipe. You were armed with Ragnarista's armband of sword mastery and your original sword, and have 2 rations, 15 gold pieces, and a spell book. Continue. The adventure continues in Sorcery 2 Care City Port of Tracts, which is out now. Let me just get rid of that. Turn that back on. Turn that off. Pause that. Just put some Christmas music on. So yeah, if you guys want me to do part 2 of the books, there are 4 parts in total. Yeah, you just make myself a bit bigger. You just let me know. Tomorrow I will be back with Star Wars. It was a good story. I'm up for it. Oh yay! I hope you didn't mind my reading. Yeah. Back tomorrow with Star Wars, and yeah, I can do more of the sorcery books. I enjoy it a lot. Oh, thank you. If you guys are interested in that, they probably do be a stream for each one. I think book 3 is a little bit longer because there's a bit more technical stuff you have to do. But yeah, I enjoy doing them. So if you guys enjoy watching them, you just let me know. Mooney, do we have a raid target? We do have a raid target. Okie dokie. So we're gonna go raid this person. Belle's Shadow. Go show them some love, and I will be back tomorrow at 7:30 usual time. Join the Discord if you want to keep up to date with when I'm streaming. Thank you everyone for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hello! Welcome, Raiders! Also, thank you, Cat Moon, for the raid!